Vegas may be glowing at every corner, but it was Charles Leclerc who stole the spotlight at the Las Vegas Grand Prix on Sunday. A last-second push propelled him past Sergio Perez's RB19, leaving everybody who doubted the weekend spectacles dumbfounded. Here's looking at you, Max Verstappen. Let's have a look at what fans are calling the race of the year in today's video, so don't go anywhere. Formula One was really craving an exciting 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix after a bit of a rocky start to the event. That's according to Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, who's all in for more races that bring that same on-track thrill. Leclerc, starting from pole position, secured a second-place finish behind Max Verstappen. The three-time champion received a 5-second penalty for pushing his front-row rival off-track through turn 1 to snatch the early lead. A second safety car pause allowed Sergio Perez to make a more affordable pit stop, setting Red Bull up for a potential 1-2 finish. But on the last lap, Leclerc managed to overtake again with the help of DRS. Speaking of the thrilling on-track action, Leclerc expressed his enthusiasm for the Vegas event and emphasized the need for other races to deliver similar intense battles. He said, "I'm sorry about the second place, but on the other hand, I'm sure that everybody had an amazing time looking at the race. I really enjoyed it. We shall have more races like that, where the racing is like that, because it was really enjoyable." Leclerc believed that F1, having invested $500 million to kick off the Vegas round, absolutely needed the race on the strip to be a success, especially after a chaotic start to the weekend. His teammate Carlos Sainz endured significant damage after running over a water valve cover that wasn't properly secured. This incident resulted in the abandonment of FP1 after just 9 minutes of running, and FP2 faced a delay of 2 hours and 30 minutes as crew worked to secure 30 covers in place. Due to the disruptions, grandstands were closed, and fans were relocated to accommodate the security guards' shift patterns. Despite these challenges, Leclerc pressed on, saying, "I really enjoyed it. I think we needed it. Of course, the weekend didn't start the way it had to start, but I'm so happy that it ended that way. It's such an incredible sport. I think today there was no better race than our first race in Vegas. The energy around the city is incredible and just really happy. At least I enjoyed today." F1 organisers have extended an olive branch to those affected fans by providing $200 worth of free merchandise as compensation. However, a prominent local law firm has initiated legal action to seek refunds on behalf of the spectators. Reflecting on his Turn 1 encounter with Verstappen, who ultimately clinched victory with a 2.07-second lead, Leclerc had this to say, "I mean, what a race! Honestly, I enjoyed it so much. I am, of course, disappointed to only finish second, but at the end, that was the best we could do. At the start, it was very tricky because I think Max, on the inside, lost a little bit of the grip and rode me on the outside. But then we had the pace, we passed him back, we were really strong overall, so that was a really good race. We got a bit unlucky with the safety car. We didn't pit because we didn't know what the others would do. We went for track position and keeping that first place. That was difficult with the older tyres towards the end, but second place with a lot of fights, honestly, I enjoyed it." Ferrari Formula One team principal Fred Vasseur has expressed his intention to engage with the stakeholders of the Las Vegas Grand Prix to discuss compensation for the damage incurred by Carlos Sainz's car during FP1. As explained earlier, Sainz encountered a setback when he ran over a loose metal water valve cover during FP1, resulting in the destruction of the chassis, power unit and energy store of his SF23. The call for compensation is supported by a precedent established in the 2017 Malaysian Grand Prix, when Romain Grosjean's Haas suffered significant damage after hitting a loose drain cover. The team, owned by the United States, then went on to negotiate a financial settlement with the Sepang organisers. When questioned about whether Ferrari would pursue compensation for the incident in Vegas, Vasseur responded, "This will be a private discussion that I will have with the stakeholders of this." In essence, this implies that the responsibility for compensation lies with Liberty Media and F1, as the race is promoted in-house rather than by a local entity. Vasseur emphasized that the crash also had repercussions on Ferrari's budget cap spending. Additional costs will be incurred due to the necessity of flying an extra spare chassis from Italy to Abu Dhabi for the upcoming weekend. The Maranello crew has already commenced preparations immediately following the accident. Vasseur added that there is no provision into the budget or cost cap for excluding the crashes. For sure, you have a lot of extra costs. The loom was damaged, the gearbox was damaged, the battery was damaged, the engine is dead. We have a lot of consequences on the financial side, on the sporting side, and even on the stock of spare parts, and on the budget side for sure. It's not an easy one. Vasseur hinted at addressing the issue of damage resulting from similar incidents beyond the team's control and advocating for such costs to be excluded from the budget cap. There will be a discussion. The decision, it's another thing. Vasseur also asserted that the marshals at the scene of the incident raised a yellow flag upon spotting the stray object on the track, but the session was not red flagged until a minute later after Sainz had run over it and come to a stop. We'd have to discuss about the circumstances of the incident also, he said, because it's not just about the cover coming out, it's also for me that we had 1 minute between the yellow flag and the red flag. It means that when they put the yellow flag that they saw something on track, and they took 1 minute before they put the red flag. I think it's too much. The main issue for me on this case is that when you put the first yellow flag, it means that you saw something. You don't put the yellow flag by anticipation. It means that the guy who put the yellow flag, and put the yellow flag also on my board, which is coming from the race control, it means that they saw something, and then they took 1 minute before they put the red flag. When it's the straight line and you have a metallic part and you were at 340 kph. Carlos Sainz voiced his disappointment at not being able to compete at the front of the grid during the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Nevertheless, he is now shifting his focus and aiming for a podium finish in Abu Dhabi. Despite facing similar challenges, the Spaniard achieved a commendable 6th position. While frustrated that the competition was confined to this position, he chose to redirect his focus toward the future, telling Sky Sports F1 that a very tricky lap one for everyone, with the dirty air, the cold tyres, the no grip on the inside of the track. It was incredibly tricky, but we managed to salvage P6 after being nearly dead last. Damage limitation race with a decent P6, but, at the same time, not being able to be fighting up there for the win given the pace of the car this weekend was a disappointment. Looking forward to Abu Dhabi, trying to beat Mercedes in the Constructors and finish on a high. Hopefully fighting for a podium. That is the #1 target. It's not going to be easy, but I think we have all the tools to go for it. Ferrari and Mercedes are in a neck-and-neck battle for second place in the Constructors' Championship, with just one more race to decide the winner. The gap between the two teams narrowed to a mere 4 points for Ferrari after the Las Vegas drama, courtesy of Charles Leclerc's podium finish. Sainz managed to finish ahead of both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, the latter receiving a 5-second time penalty. But given the inconsistent performances from both Ferrari and Mercedes throughout the year, the determination of who will clinch the runner-up position remains unclear. The first spot is clearly owned by Max Verstappen and Red Bull, but who do you have winning the best of the rest battle, Mercedes or Ferrari? Take your pick and defend them in the comments section down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.